Let's meet one half of the main event. His record, 18 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 16 wins coming by way of knockout. 30 years of age from Rowland Heights, California. His last 14 wins have come by knockout, including his most recent victory as he stopped Mario Heredia in November of 2019. Only blemishes coming against former heavyweight champions, including Charles Martin and Joseph Parker from Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the very hungry, determined, and focused Alexander Flores. Alexander?
Hey, Ray, how's it going? Thank you.
To give opening thoughts on how training camp has been and your mindset heading into your main event against Luis Ortiz.
Training camp has been going well. You know, I usually stay in shape year-round. I had a fight in June at the Tell Out. We were preparing for November. We had an opponent. I forgot what it was, actually. I forgot the guy's name. So then after this opportunity presented itself, and we took advantage of it. I mean, training camp has been going well. You know, sparring was going good. And we're just ready for Saturday night.
Now we will turn it over to the operator for any questions for Alexander Flores. Operator?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, that's star 1 on your telephone keypad. All right. Looks like our first question will come from Keith Idek of BoxingScene.com. Keith, your line is now open.
Hi, my question is for Alexander. Alexander, how much time overall did you have to prepare for the fight?
To switch sparring partners, about 6 weeks.
6 weeks,
it really
okay.
I wasn't out of shape. I was already in shape. All I had to do was kind of find some southpaw sparring, and that was it.
I know it's been challenging for some fighters during the pandemic to find the right sparring because of the restrictions and everything. How was it for you overall?
To be honest, in the beginning it was pretty tough, but I mean, we made some phone calls and we found some guys locally, so we got the sparring in. I was blessed to find a few southpaw sparring because it could be difficult to find some great quality southpaw sparring, but we did find some.
Right. Can you just speak to the opportunity overall? Obviously, Luis Ortiz is an elite-level heavyweight who's only lost to Deontay Wilder. What would it do for your career? Of course, it would do a lot, but can you put into words how it would change your career and change your life if you pull off an upset on Saturday night?
I mean, it would change my career dramatically. You know, for instance, you know, when Andy fought Joshua, I mean, not that Ortiz is the champion, but just like that happened overnight, it can happen the same way to me. I mean, it's a great opportunity, but there's no way I can turn it down. Especially during this pandemic, it's hard to find a fight or to get fights. But like I said, I'm usually in shape year long, and I was just ready for a phone call.
What do you think of Ortiz at this point? He hasn't fought in almost a year, I guess, which is the case for a lot of guys. But he's an older fighter now, and he has been knocked out twice now. So what do you think of him overall?
Ortiz, he's a great fighter. You know, I mean, he's still one of the most feared men to fight. I don't know why, but you know, a lot of fighters don't fight him at his level. I mean, he's a champion. You know, he's a great fighter. I mean, his only losses were just to Deontay Wilder.
You obviously had no hesitation to fight him, and a lot of guys have. I mean, he's been avoided to some degree by certain guys. What made it different for you?
Well, I mean, he fought Wilder twice, you know, so whenever you fight at that caliber, you're going to give it your all in training camp. And he's already up there in age. I think he's like, 42, 43, something like that. I mean, you know, the older you get, the harder it is to recover during fight camps. You know, we see most of the beating during the camps. You know, it doesn't get easier. But maybe his age will show up Saturday night. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Well, what did you think when he fought Wilder? Of course, was his last fight. What did you think of his? He was clearly winning the fight before he got knocked out. What did you think of his performance in that fight?
Oh, he was doing great. I thought he was, like you said, I thought he was winning. I think most people who were seeing the fight thought he was winning, and I think he probably got careless when he heard the 10-second mark, And he got caught with a straight right.
Do you think, I believe he's about a 20-1 favorite or so going into the fight. Do you feel that he might be underestimating you to some degree based on your resumes?
He could. I mean, I really don't know that. You would have to ask him that. But, I mean, if he does, then he does. I mean, I really don't know if he's underestimating me. But, I mean, if he does, that's good. Then maybe he wasn't training hard for the fight.
Great. Alexander, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Our next question will come from Carlos Toro of Fight Game Media. Carlos, your line is now open.
Hi, Alexander. Thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. Obviously we have this very loaded heavyweight division, especially at the top. And with you've already faced a couple of guys who have held world titles in the past, but do you still believe that you're maybe being overlooked in this division, considering the odds and who the opponent is for this Saturday?
Am I being overlooked? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But like I said, it was an opportunity, and I'm not going to turn opportunities down like this because one day we're not going to get these phone calls anymore. So I think I am being overlooked, but it's okay.
Well, do you believe that, you could be within reach of a world title shot with just a win, or do you think that you need to make an emphatic statement and knocking out Luis Ortiz, or do you still just believe a win is enough to get you into that position of potentially challenging for a world title?
I mean, beating Ortiz would absolutely give me I'm sure I'd be in the top 5 or whatever top he's in, and I'm sure I would get like a world title fight after beating him.
What version of Ortiz are you expecting? Do you still believe that Ortiz is still the same heavyweight who is one of the most avoided in the sport? And do you believe that, you could be facing maybe a guy with a chip on his shoulder coming off the loss to Deontay Wilder?
It could be, but I mean, we wouldn't know that until Saturday night. But I'm good. I prepared for the best Ortiz. I'm expecting the best Ortiz. The same Ortiz I fought Wilder once and twice. That's the same Luis Ortiz I'm going to expect coming Saturday night.
Thanks, Alexander. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next question will come from Jeremy Harriges. However, before I open up Jeremy's line, I just want to remind everybody on the line, you can press star 1 on your telephone keypad for questions. Again, that's star 1 on your telephone keypad for questions. All right, Jeremy, your line is now open.
Hi, Alexander. I'm curious, how surprised were you to get this phone call, and maybe describe how it all went down?
To be honest, at first when I seen him, I actually know that he was supposed to fight Scott Alexander, and that was a great opportunity for Scott Alexander, but unfortunately he had tested positive for COVID, I believe, and then they gave me the call. So, I said yes. I was training for a fight, and like I said, man, it was a blessing. It's awesome, They're like, one day we're not going to get these opportunities anymore, so I don't take advantage of them now.
Looking at your last loss against Joseph Parker, what did you change from that performance? What did you learn from that performance? What have you done to improve since that defeat?
To stay off the ropes. He did catch me a couple times on the ropes. That's actually not the best place to be, in a fight. My fitness, my eating habits, and all that. I'm not the most chiseled guy, but I've, kind of changed my nutrition and all that, learning more about that stuff. But other than that, I actually picked up another trainer too, David Martinez from La Habra. So I have 2 trainers, my coach Michael Love and David Martinez. So, they've both been great with my last 2 fights and this fight. So things are going good. There's going to be some adjustments.
Every boxer has a strength or strengths. What would you say are the 1 or 2 attributes that give you the best chance of defeating Luis Ortiz?
Well, I'm the youngest fighter, I feel like a little more hungry. He's been at the top level for quite some years now. He fought the best of the best. I haven't been at that pinnacle yet where he has been. So I mean, maybe who knows? Maybe he's not as driven as he was before. I feel like I have more drive right now than maybe he has. Like I said, we'll see on Saturday night.
Thank you, Alexander, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Alexander, I have a question for you when it comes to, fighting at this level. What's your mindset like? And also, fighting within the confines of the bubble, which, this is a brand new world we're living in. But have you kind of thought about that in regards to what you have to do?
As in, like, fighting in a different atmosphere with, like, no audience?
Yeah, I'm saying, like, fighting with no fans and being within the confines of the bubble. I mean, you haven't fought in a year, so this is your first fight back since dealing with COVID-19 in this world that we're living in.
Yeah. To be honest, it might be a little different, because you won't probably have that same energy coming in, so we have to kind of not focus about that and focus about a fight. But yeah, hearing the people cheer on, everybody yelling, it might be a little different, but it's still a fight. But we'll see how the atmosphere is come Saturday night.
And also for you, do you I know the guys kind of mentioned this a little bit, but do you pay attention at all to the odds or anything like that, or is it kind of like what kind of territory you're endeavoring into?
To be honest, man, I don't pay attention to none of that. The people who say like, "Oh, Alex is just a stepping stone," blah blah blah. Most people who have something to say, to me, I consider them as couch critics. They never probably step in the ring, train the fighter, put on a pair of gloves, hit a bag, whatever the case is. I mean, they're just people who just criticize. They really don't know. They're the last people who will step in the ring to fight Luis Ortiz. So no, I don't pay attention to that. People will always have something to say regardless.
Then also, fighting on national TV, this kind of stage, network television, big on Fox, has it, doing more interviews? I'm sure you're doing that, but how has that been like to be able to handle, more media obligations and things along those lines that you have to, pay attention to, along with just being a fighter?
I don't know. It seems pretty normal to me for some reason. It doesn't seem like anything new. There's no pressure or anything. It's just things I have to do, as a fighter, especially for a fight at this caliber.
So the experiences going against the likes of the Joseph Parkers and the Charles Martins of the world benefited you to get ready for this test on Saturday night against Luis Ortiz?
Yes, absolutely.
And just, going ahead, and has there been anything more that you focused in on preparation-wise for, a fighter of this caliber and stuff like that? I mean, fighters say they learn a lot as they go up in class competition-wise, like things they could have done better in training camp, things that they like to tweak. Are you along that same mindset?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we have to be on the P's and Q's from Saturday night because, Ortiz is he's no slouch. He's a great fighter, and I'm sure he's going to be on his P's and Q's coming that night, Like I said before, we're expecting the best Luis Ortiz from Saturday night.
Do you think that... go ahead.
I said we watch video, see what he does, So we're kind of, we have a few things that he likes to do quite often that we have in mind for.
Are you worried at all about, like, veteran-like tactics? I mean, you heard Tom Brown mention his extensive amateur background, the fact that he has been in the ring with, Deontay Wilder twice, but are you cognizant of veteran-like tactics that he may employ during the course of the fight?
Am I worried about that?
Veteran-like tactics. Like, are you cognizant of it? Like certain things, they call them, the tricks of the trade in boxing. Little nuances, the subtleties that fighters use.
No, not really. I mean, I fought with former world champions as well. So I know what they would use too during sparring and all that. So I feel like we get more experience sometimes from sparring than what we do from an actual fight. You know, because we're always sparring constantly before a fight.